Anytime there's any kind of shooting in this country, we get the same predictable calls for gun control from those on the left. And those in the media always prayed out their so-called experts to come out, and what they do is they push their narrative for gun control using outright lies or half-truths, and yesterday's shooting at the GOP baseball practice was no different. With that in mind, I've got the 5 biggest lies that I have heard so far in the media about that shooting. Hi folks, Howard here for VP Prepping and Survival. And as I said in the open to the video, I've got the 5 biggest lies that I have heard in the wake of that GOP baseball practice shooting. First and foremost is Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. This guy is a regular for those of us who are pro-gun, who are pro-Second Amendment, pro-freedom. We understand that Terry McAuliffe is a bat crap crazy halfwit. This guy either has no idea what he's talking about on a regular basis, or he's just on purposefully lying about the things that he says. Yesterday might have been the stupidest thing that a man who routinely says stupid things has ever said, though. He said that we lose 93 million Americans every day to gun violence. Yes, 93 million Americans every day to gun violence. Do the math on that, folks. There are about 330 million people in this country. That means that in 4 days, everybody in the country would be dead due to gun violence. This guy is an idiot. The second lie that I heard, and I heard it repeatedly, it was called by CBS and then several other people an AR. It's always an AR. And nobody bothers to correct themselves later. They just run with the narrative that it's an AR because everybody wants ARs outlawed in the anti-gun group because they look scary to them. These people are fools. They have no idea what they're talking about. In this case, it was not an AR. It was an SKS, which is nothing like an AR. The third lie that I heard yesterday, and this one really bothered me, was by somebody who knows better or certainly should know better. If she doesn't know better, then she had no business having a job with the Secret Service. Her name is Eevee Pomus. I don't know if I pronounced that correct. She's a former Secret Service agent. When you hear what she said, that's going to be staggering to you that this woman was in the Secret Service. She was on NBC, and she said the difference is a pistol can fire 1 round at a time. Pop, pop, pop. But this individual had a semi-automatic weapon. Semi-automatic means that you can switch to a point where pop, 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 it fires multiple rounds. No, Eevee, it does not fire multiple rounds. Semi-automatic is 1 trigger pull, 1 round. It's never going to be anything else, no matter how many times you fools spread this narrative that there are people running around. What you're referring to is an automatic weapon. This guy didn't have an automatic weapon. He barely had a semi-automatic weapon. It was semi-automatic, all right, but it was a very old-fashioned semi-automatic weapon at SKS. It wasn't some fancified thing that can do magic. It's not sorcery. It's a semi-automatic weapon. You pull the trigger 1 time, it shoots 1 round, and semi-automatic only means that it automatically cycles the next round up for you when you pull the trigger again. You don't have to cycle it with a bolt action or a pump or anything like that. It cycles it for itself. Eevee, you know better, or you're an idiot. The fourth lie that I heard that really annoyed me was CNN said that the SKS, when it found out that it was an SKS and they stopped going with the narrative that it was an AR-15 or some variant of that, they had to make it sound like it's much scarier than it is. Everybody knows what an AR-15 is and an AK-47, so they claim that the SKS is a Chinese variant of the AK-47. No, it is not a Chinese variant of the AK-47. It is an SKS. They are not the same thing. The AK-47 has detachable magazines, the SKS does not. There are some similarities, but there are many, many differences. It is not simply, oh, this one was just made in a different place. It is very non-similar to an AK-47, and stop trying to make it sound like what you would call an assault weapon. And that leads in to the 5th big lie that I heard yesterday. Several news outlets, even after they found out that this was an SKS and they were reporting that it was an SKS, continued to refer to this as an assault weapon. An SKS is not an assault weapon, no matter how deranged and anti-gun you are, no matter how you classify this. I live in New York State. New York State is one of the most oppressive in terms of gun restrictions and anti-gun laws anywhere in the country. In New York State, under the New York SAFE Act, which is a big old oppressive pile of monkey crap that I have to live under, Even they don't consider the SKS an assault rifle. Stop trying to scare people into backing your dumb plan for gun control. We don't have a gun control problem. We don't have a gun problem. We have a people being able to rationally apply logic problem. People who don't have enough respect or love for their fellow human beings problem. But we do not have a gun problem. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm Howard for VP Prepping and Survival, and this has been the 5 biggest media lies that I heard in response to the shooting in Virginia of the GOP baseball team yesterday. Remember, folks, in any survival situation, you don't just want to survive, you want to thrive. Happy shooting, everybody.